Welcome, boys and girls and children of all ages, to another episode of the Husky Barboos. We are your Husky Barboos in question, Ariel, and
Jonathan.
we're back to remote status because today the good nature, good old Mother Nature decided to, visit in a very snowy way. Plus,
Yeah.
we didn't even think about actually mating because life, but still.
Yeah. Well,
But still, it was gonna be remote regardless. But now we have like extra incentives to stay locked in.
yeah. It's like stay home,
Yeah,
don't
so
come out.
very like nobody go outside. Why? Oh, you'll see in a minute. You'll see. Like why? Oh, you're curious, aren't you? Okay.
Yeah. You said by you it started. It hasn't started here, so let's see what happens.
Oh yeah, my neck of the woods. It's already started. I mean, it started with little flurries, but I would imagine in a few it's gonna be like giant chunks of snow, like bam.
Yeah.
It's just gonna come up
Yeah.
from the sky. Bam.
Yeah. They were talking about like 6 inches.
Oh, they're talking no up in that maybe on your neck of the woods. On my neck of the woods, it's
No, I
from
said New York City. It was like six
oh
inches. I could just imagine what it is by you because
on
you're
my
up
end, it's
north.
8 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
So I
end is gonna be 8 inches. So
think they're talking about mine is like think about like six. They said two.
yeah, that to being said, I mean, although this is gonna be recorded and you're gonna be listening or viewing this in hindsight, stay home.
Yeah, even tomorrow, it's like they said that the temperature is supposed to be so low that everything on the ground is just gonna freeze. So even if you listen to this on
Yeah,
Monday when this is gonna
no,
come out,
I
stay home.
do. I do have to go out tomorrow because my annual checkup. Your physical, my annual physical. So I do have to go outside. So it's gonna be yummy. It's gonna be so awesome going outside with like 8 inches of snow minimum.
And like probably like 25 degrees.
It's just gonna be like I just can hear like a Gregorian chant while I'm walking through those 8 inches of mile high snow. I'm like oh.
You're gonna should be fun.
Oh yeah, fun times, good times, good times, good times. So, it's we're going now on third week of WWE being on Netflix, and the numbers are insane.
I be-
So,
yeah, I believe it.
no, the numbers are good, and we had a debut last week of Penta, who in Mexico is known as Pentagon Junior. But he in AEW was known as Penta El Cero M, which is
Okay.
not M, not for doo doo, but for miedo, which is fear. So to clear that up, because we're good Christian boys, we don't cuss. In this podcast, we might cuss in real life, but not in the podcast. Trying to trying to get that almighty Quan.
Yeah,
Trying to get
keep us
monetized.
on the main headwaves. We
Yeah,
can make it there.
we're trying to get monetized. I mean, YouTube, if you are listening, it's time. those reels, those reels are coming in. A lot of views getting in. So
Talking about those reels, we'll get into it in a second after you talk about WWE. But wow,
no, go ahead. I mean, I don't got. Look,
I
we're out here
mean,
without a net. So
just to mention those few names, those reels is just it blew up within hours of us putting it out there.
what can I say? TKO is, which is the parent company of WWE, by the way.
Just printing money.
The deal that they're almost finalizing now with Saudi Arabian government. They're going
No,
to create a boxing league with the Saudis. Now, if you know anything about what's been happening in the world of boxing in the last five or 4 years, the Saudis have been killing it in terms of making the best boxing events in the globe. Like the other promoters, I mean, they're still making their little bucks, but like compared to the Saudis, it's like chump change.
yeah,
And
Saudis. print money too.
Exactly. And the fact that the TKO is embeds with these people now, it's just going to be a license to print money. They basically going to have the printing press to print money, and like anything that is the equivalent of high end money in the world right now, like dollars or yen, whatever, it's going to become like third, fourth, fifth place now because it's now going to be TKO that's going to be printing all the cash in the world. Because if they do that deal, it's like it's a win-win for both sides. I mean, it's not like TKO is hurting for money. You
No,
know, they own WWE, they own UFC, and neither of these two companies are lacking in the money department. Neither,
no, they're not.
neither. Like both of them are making them handsome rewards for their owners, which include Mr. Dwayne Johnson, aka the Final Boss, aka The Rock. So, I mean, is this guy like? Does he really need to be on TV now? Because it's like he's making money hands over fist.
No, he's just doing things that he loves to do because he doesn't need to do it anymore.
No, I
He
mean,
doesn't need to fight. He doesn't need to do movies. He just enjoys doing it now,
he is financially secured for life.
and it's good too.
He is financially secured for life. He can take it easy. He can rest in his laurels. He can just concentrate on business and keep making the monies. Because apparently, money is just attached to him. It's just like following him around. Like Moneybags just following him. Daddy, please grab me. Daddy, please, please.
Hmm. Did you see
Like
his latest Instagram?
where his daughter's painting him.
Yeah, he was about to go to the gym, and they were like, "Oh, Daddy, can we just put mascara on you?" And it ended up being like, "Oh, like
No, and
makeup
and
session."
and apparently, I don't know who was that got the girls a guinea pig, and he noticed the guinea pig, and he was like, I don't like this. He's looking at the guinea pig because he looked like genuinely like,
Yeah.
oh no, but he was like, okay, I'm not gonna allow it, but somebody got some explaining to do because nobody talked to Daddy about this, and Daddy is the one that brings home the bacon. So you got to talk to the man that allows things to happen. I'm not trying to mansplain things, okay? But it would be nice that if you are the contributor, how things.
Listen, we all know. Yes, he brings in the bacon,
Yeah.
but
So
his wife is the one that runs
yeah,
the
she runs
household.
the house, but it would be nice to like heads up. Now, although it could be that he did that for show because social media, trying to get
Yeah,
some views.
can be.
Yeah, he could have done that for show, but I'll call a spade for now and say that maybe it was for realsies, but it would have been nice to give a heads up. But regardless, those are problems that are not in our concern because his problems are like, oh my poor forehead. Let me remove the sweat of my brow with this $3,000 bill out of my. I had to go to the bathroom and relieve myself. Do you have $100 bills around there? Okay, you know those are his problems. Like us mere mortals are like, can you give me some of that after you're done?
I'll take like a quarter, maybe a little less. I mean, anything.
Like,
I'll take anything.
I'll take those $100 bills even after you're done. I don't. I mean, we can always wash them
I wash them
clean.
off. I wash them off.
We can always wash them clean, and they are recyclable.
The good Lord made salt and water for a reason.
Yeah, the good Lord provided those cleaning materials for a reason, so we don't have to worry about that kind of thing. Like if you hoity-toity like that, I don't know what to tell you, right?
Yeah.
So going back to wrestling, not to mention your favorite cat, not to mention him. No, no, we're not gonna go directly to him. But a lot of what Punky Brewster has said about his former employer, AEW,
Hmm.
it seems to coming into fruition as is more like a fact than fiction. And I explain myself. As I mentioned before, Penta made his debut last week on Raw. Very good match, very solid match. Uh, and his brother, Ray Phoenix, who is still under contract in AEW because his contract should have expired like at the end of last year, but since he's been hurt a lot, AEW is enforcing him to fulfill the dates that he had in his contract by adding extra dates, and that way he can fulfill his contract. So they added extra dates in his contract because he was out. And
Mm-hmm.
Ray Phoenix said in his social media that while he was out, that he had to pay himself for his medical needs, and AEW did not put a dime. Now, this is something that the Punkster, your buddy Phil, uh, has said as well. That when he got hurt and when he tore his tricep back in the Brawl Out fiasco a couple of years ago, he said that he also had to take care of his own medical bills. That AEW and nobody contacted him, and I was like, well, okay. Punky says that you're like take it with a grain of salt because he probably hurt with, but then you
Yeah.
hear Ray Phoenix say it, and then you hear a bunch of people say that, and you're like, okay, so when you hear the same story over and over again, that kind of makes you more inclined into believing one side than the other. I mean,
Yeah.
uh, regardless of how you feel about the dude, like even as they say, even a broken watch is right twice a day. You know. So also add to the fact because this adds fuel to the fire that as soon as Penta made his debut in WWE, Ray Phoenix merchandise, because like I said, Ray is still under contract under AEW, and his merch was gone from the AEW store. And when you try to search it, it comes with like an error page.
Crazy.
So, like, if you're a conspiracy theorist, you'll be like, "Oh, that's retaliation for him speaking out."
Yeah.
I mean, your brain automatically goes. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying that's your brain automatically goes there. Like, right? I mean, tell me if I'm wrong.
No.
Tell me
Over
if
there.
I'm wrong. Like, you just make assumptions in your head. Now, I'm not
Nah,
saying that this is in
something
fact
was going on.
exactly. I'm not saying this is in fact the case. I am not saying this, and I do not imply this either. I'm just saying you, as humans do, we automatically do the unnecessary math of two and two together, and we add our whatever the equation or the result of that equation may be. So
Yeah.
also add to the fact that I don't know if he's a rapper or Action Bronson. Heard of him?
Never heard of him.
Well, he did a little stint last year in AEW. He even appeared for a match. And he said he went to the Ariel Hawani show. You know who Ariel Hawani is. He's an MMA and fight as yeah, he's an MMA journalist. And he
Okay.
has his podcast, I believe, in ESPN. And he went to the Ariel Hawani show, and he said, because Ariel asked him about it, it was like, so you did that little stint on AEW. Has anything else come up from there? It's like I never heard of these people since. Like, I haven't heard from them
Mm.
since. And you're like, really? It's like no. And he says, and he also added to the fact that the atmosphere in the back was weird. He said that the atmosphere was weird. That he felt like everybody just had their own little cliques, and like nobody paid attention to him. He said that he was willing to come back, but the vibes that he got from the from the people backstage, it was like no good. It was like no, I didn't feel comfortable there. So I find it so weird that we've done a full 180. That like 5 years ago, you would say the exact same thing when you go to WWE, and you would say the
Yeah.
exact opposite of AEW. And 5 years later, we've done a 180. Now you hear that the toxic place is AEW and the green pastures are now WWE. All because a certain man that has like the sickest kinks under God's green earth was unceremoniously removed from his position and now is trying to make a comeback in a way to the world of business, and we still don't know what type of venture. Yes, we are talking about our silent benefactor, Minky Juice.
Well, let's talk about what his whole thing was. I mean, we're a little late because we didn't record last week,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
he settled.
Yeah. It seems that he settled. So he paid WWE back the money that he took from the company to pay the hush money. I don't know if he settled with the actual accusers because they still talking smack about him. Miss Grant, who was the principal accuser, who was accusing him and John Laurinaitis. The Bella Twins' former father-in-law, former.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have to put that on the title right there,
Oh
former,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
because if he did engage, in fact, on what is stated in all those declarations, are like, I mean, that's just like that's Caligula level stuff. It's like
It's sad that this stuff is happening.
I,
Sad.
I I guess if true, it wasn't sad for them.
Well, yeah,
It
but
wasn't sad for them. I wouldn't say sad. I would say that they're sick freaks, as The Rock used to call Vince back in the day. You sick
well,
freak. And
so
I
I
guess
guess
he
we
was
know
more.
why now.
I guess we know why. I guess it's like, oh, so that's why he called him. Like, really, really, yeah, sick freak. Let me guess why. I mean, when you see the Netflix documentary on Minky Juice, we're talking about Vince McMahon. When you see the Netflix documentary, he says in one point, "This is un. I don't know if I don't know how he comes up with this, but he says I have an insatiable thirst for sex." When you hear that in the documentary, you're like, awkward. Like,
Well, a
little did he
lot of the
know. Little did he know. A few days later, things would just pop up, and the
a lot of
producer,
these businessmen are like that though. Like a lot of these suit and tie CEO. Now we don't hear of it because they
hush.
don't they hush them up, but Vince just ran into bad luck, and his story came out, and he owned the wrestling industry. So
I
that
mean,
was even the bigger story. Like if you think about it, all of these CEOs of these other different companies that we don't know, that are not famous Fortune 500s or anything like that, we don't hear them because they're not Vince McMahon level. But it happens all over. But a lot of these people, like a lot of these CEOs, are like that. Like some of them are because they're in power, they like to be overpowered, and
yep.
some of them like to continue with the power, as you can see with Vince.
Oh God, I mean, this dude, and the fact that he is like, yeah, let's run it back. He's like, he wants to create another. Like, dude, you got off almost scotch free because yeah, you got kicked out of your own company that you created, but you got handsomely paid, and you still have some money left. And you would think like after you dodged a Hiroshima Nagasaki level bullet, you'd be like, yeah, this is probably God's sign of telling me chill for a moment. And he's like,
Yeah,
nah, damn it. Run it back. Run it.
let's see if we can get Austin out of retirement.
He's like his character. It's like then you realize that oh my god, he was not acting.
It was
He was
truly him.
that's him to a T. I mean, when you see the documentary, they asked all the wrestlers. I mean, Stone Cold, The Undertaker, even Voldemort now, aka Hulk Hogan. We can go into that later. He who shall not be named. Uh, all of these guys are like, I don't know the difference between the character and the man. I really don't. It's like they're pretty much one and the same. And when they ask Vince, he's like, "Oh no, I'm not really like that." I'm like,
Yeah, okay.
why you lying? Why you lying? That's a
Like the
whole
little
lie.
kid. Bull crap.
A
Oh,
poo
bull
poo?
crap.
A poo poo? Why you talking all that dookie? You ain't talking all that dookie for. It's a load of dookie.
That's crazy.
So yeah, we're gonna go there. I mean, this happened 2 weeks ago, going on three. Uh, Hulk Hogan showed up because apparently he has a partnership with WWE now. Well, WWE are co-owners or part owners of his new beer brand, and Hogan did an appearance on the first Raw on Netflix, and the man was booed out of the building. Booed out of the building. Now,
Are you surprised?
Hogan is blaming this on due to his Trump supporting. That I beg to differ that that is wrong because Undertaker was also very much a Trump supporter in these last elections, and yet he made an appearance on that same night, and everybody cheered to the roof blowing up when he showed up. So I don't think it's the Trump voting. What could it be? Oh yeah, that's sex tape. Yeah, that's sex tape. Not the sex tape itself, though. That's bleach your eyes. Have you seen it? Bleach your eyes afterward. Although you got
Need
to
to
question.
boil them with acid and
I mean, you got to question if that is indeed the last thing you want to be wrapped in your memory. You'd be like, no, let me see some other stuff like a palate cleanser, and then I'll bleach my eyes. Because why? Why, Lord? It's not so much that the sex thing. It's more his comments. I don't know if it was pre or post the sex. That he said the most wild, racist, KKK loving things. Like he says the N word a couple of times, and he says that everybody's a racist to a fault.
mm,
And the fact that when he went to WWE, like afterwards, when the WWE gave him forgave him, because they pretty much almost erased him from their history for a point in time. After he says WWE is like, well, I'm washing my hands right now to this dude, and once they were like, yeah, okay, yeah, it's kind of difficult to John Cena him, because you can't see him. It's kind of difficult to John. We already gave that gimmick to John Cena, so we can't be sharing retroactively sharing that gimmick to Hulk Hogan. I mean, because then you're gonna have all the images of him slamming Andre the Giant. You're just gonna have Andre the Giant floating in midair, being slammed by himself.
Andre was a incredible wrestler.
Like,
Look at him
wow,
in
look at him!
midair.
Look at him! He just hurled himself in midair and just slammed himself. That is so impressive. I mean, it was such an entertaining match. Who did he wrestle again? Nobody. Anyway, so the amazing thing is that allegedly when he was backstage that time when WWE opened the door for him to do his Mea Culpa tour, and he talked to the black wrestlers because I guess that's what you had to do to in order to address the pink elephant in the room. And they were like, "Moral of the story, guys: don't say stupid stuff while you're being because you don't know if you're being recorded." I'm like, no. The moral of the story is don't be a racist. How about that? How about that? Yeah, my bad. I done screwed up. I said something that I shouldn't have said, and I would have liked to apologize if I said those comments, or like just say something that is more near to that side of what you addressing what you did, instead of acting like, oh no, I just gonna sweep this under the rug. Like, dude, you said it. It's out there. That's it. You either own
Yeah.
up to it and ask for forgiveness, or you're gonna be acting up like this didn't happen. And unfortunately, this is not the '80s anymore. Like, if you are caught on camera, if you're caught, like that is in the ether forever. That is in the
Hmm.
ether forever. So you just have to own it, and take your responsibility about it, and not try to hide it under the rug, because that don't work no more. This is in the '80s. Like the stuff that you did before social media, before everything, the internet, like you could probably get away with some things, but now in this modern world, these things right here are recording everything that you do. They're recording everything that you do. You're being monitored 24/7 now with this thing, and brother eyes watching and listening.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful what you say, man, because it is right now. Everything that you say in private can and will be used against you in the court of law of public opinion. So it's unfortunately that he has not learned his lesson. He wants to keep acting like nothing happened. And yet, a guy like the Undertaker that did vote red, he took the red pill. People are like, okay, because independently of what, how the election ended up, whatever, it's done. It's done. Like, we have opinions we don't necessarily agree with. It don't matter. Like, we still love you for what you did, and the fact that he voted for whatever he wanted to vote, that's irrelevant to how we still view him as a guy. Like, you don't have to agree with everybody's point of view. You just, there's some people, nice people on both sides, and then there's some questionable people on both sides either. Too. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So you take it as it is. Like, the cool people you rock with, and the not cool people you like. See you later.
Yeah.
And so I guess that's what LA gave Hogan. The
Well,
deuces.
just going back to Hogan, he just became a grandfather again. His daughter ended up having twins.
Wow.
Um, I don't know how long ago, but I just saw it on her Instagram that she had twins.
Oh, speaking of social media, it was a dark day last night for people who use a certain social media, TikTok, because
Yeah,
it got banned here in the States. But lo and behold,
it's back
Donald
up.
Trump is giving them, like, of all people, of all people, Donald Trump is like, you know what? I'm going to give you a grace period so you can get your ducks in the row. So they gave
Now,
him, I think it's going to be like a 90-day grace period to see if
so
they can, if either they can sell, I don't know, like trying to find a way how to keep it alive.
but now I know I'm probably dumb because I don't use it.
Me neither. My daughter does.
But is it the whole thing? Is it because it's grabbing everyone's like information? Is that why the U.S. doesn't want it?
Basically, you know that TikTok is Chinese, it's from China.
Yes.
So basically, any enterprise that comes from China, the Chinese government has ownership over it in some way or capacity. And so this whole thing actually started with Trump when he was in his previous term.
Okay.
He thought, and his constituents thought as well, and so did the security bases. The United States government thought that TikTok was basically a front to steal Americans' information. And their concern was that it was being, and also the fact that the version of TikTok that's in China is totally different from the version of TikTok that we have here in the States. The TikTok version of China is educational. It's actually making you smarter. Whereas TikTok here in the States was like, well, social media.
Hmm.
Need I say more? Need I say more? So, but what I found weird is that the Biden administration, because this idea of Trump started like in his just in the tail ends of his first presidency, and then Biden came in, and Biden doubled down. It was the Biden administration that doubled down on this, and they were like, "Yeah, you got to go." And they were the ones that pretty much they tried to put the nail in the coffin. But it was amazing to me that during the election time, Trump was the one who was like, you know what? I think I went too hard on them. Maybe it's okay. And although selfish reasons, because spoilers, he when he was banned from almost all social media, guess what was the only social media that he was a little
TikTok.
bit active. So it's a little bias there on his end. But regardless of what it is, it's still it's still. I mean, you can politic the whole thing and say because of this and that. Let's just say, for the sake of saying something nice, because guess what? As a recording time tomorrow, he will be the 47th president. So take it or leave it. It is a done deal. Let's just say he's trying to be trying to do a good guy thing in terms of, because let's face it, there's a lot of people that depend on that TikTok, that they're making money with being paid by being a TikToker, and also TikTok has an actual web store where people are selling goods from there, and so it's a lot of businesses that are going to be lost, is for American businesses that are going to be lost through that, because a lot of people are making money through it. So on that end, I see it as positive that he's trying to do that on that end. And then
Yeah.
you can go to the other end, and call a spade a spade, But we keep it positive. We don't politic here. We don't do that. So we're gonna keep it in the positive view. So we're like, okay, good. For those of you who love TikTok, you have a grace period to and pray that whoever gets to buy TikTok. I think Elon said he's not gonna buy it. So
I
Elon.
think one of the guys that were on Shark Tank, forgot his name. It's not the guy that owns the Mavericks,
Okay, Mark
and it's
Cuban.
not the one that owns Fubo. It's the other guy
Okay,
with the
yeah,
big. I
because
forgot his name.
I don't know who he is, because I know that Elon said he's not going to buy it. He already said no, because he's like, I already turned the biggest dumpster fire in the world to an even bigger dumpster fire, aka X. So like, yeah, I'm busy. I'm already busy cooking over here.
Yeah, his name is Kevin O'Leary.
Okay,
He think he put in an offer for like 20 billion to buy him.
I think they were asking like 50.
Yeah.
I think that's the asking price that we're asking. I mean, I don't know how much of these things are worth.
I mean, I don't know how he's putting that money up because he says as early of 2005 he's only worth 400 million.
well,
So he must have some serious other investors that he's with.
yeah, that's the only thing that I'm concerned. That's the only way he would do it. That's the only way he would do it, because
So
Elon Elon is a guy that I would think him himself would have the money to buy it, but I don't think he would. One, because he like I already said before, he has his hands tied with Twitter, or X, or you want to call it. And the other thing, that would be a conflict of interest, because he's working for the government now. He's going to be working for the government, so that would be kind of a conflict of interest. So morally speaking, he couldn't do it, even if he wanted to, because he would be because that would bring a lot of scrutiny because like okay that you can even call some insider information because he would be privy to information that the general public is not aware of, and he
Yeah.
can try to squeeze in a fair deal. So I don't think he want to tie himself in that kind of knot. So he'll be like, yeah, I wish I could, but no, I'm not gonna get into it. I mean, that would be the smart thing on my end, I would think.
So this one website from 2 days ago said that he offered TikTok owners 20 billion in cash.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of hearsay, but I heard that I've also heard that that was not true. That he did not do that. So there's a lot of
I
hearsay.
mean, who knows?
No, I mean, general rule of the internet.
Yeah.
you know, do not just buy wholesale anything that the internet says. Just don't dig in. Speaking of which, a movie that you and I have been discussing recently that we might want to go see, which is Captain America: Brave New World. Uh, you know, to be perfectly honest and sincere, none of us have seen the movie. Obviously, it hasn't come out yet. It won't come out until next month, right?
Yep.
But I am seriously hesitant about the quality of the movie, and let
Okay.
me explain why. The reason I'm hesitant is because this is a movie that's had three reshoots. Three. And I'm not talking about just a few scenes. No, no. Three times that they've done this movie wholesale. Like they had to redo the movie
Hmm.
three times. And they shown screeners of the movie to general audiences to see. And each report is like, the people are like, this is trash. So
I don't know. I think we should wait, dude.
no, it gives me hesitation because some people are gonna be like, because again, this is the first Sam Wilson or Anthony Mackie, the actor,
Yeah.
led Captain America movie, and I don't want this to go into the whole spiel. You know what spiel we can
Hmm.
get into that. I don't want to get into that because I don't want that to be the focus. My concern is more the quality of the movie. That's my
Yeah.
concern. Now we're talking about that. Even Seth Rollins, the wrestler, was at one point attached to the movie, and he even got to film a few scenes. But when they asked him recently, he's like, "Yeah, I think they cut me completely out of the movie now, so I'm not gonna even be in it. So you guys go and see the movie and expecting to see me, I'm not in it anymore."
Wow.
Exactly. Like you took this
You
guy,
know the database that you know much more of a crew you would have got just for people to see Seth Rollins in that.
and yet they removed him completely wholesale from the movie, and you're like, and when you hear like this is the whole thing, like you get concerned because you're like, I want to see the movie because Red Hulk, you know that's that let's be honest, that's basically what the movie is calling you in for.
Yeah.
You just want to see Harrison Ford turn into Red Hulk. Basically, you just want to see that, and after there's, you're like, cool, let me go home. Because the thing is that Sam Wilson, nothing against him, because in the comic books they made him earn it. I mean, it's over 50 years in the making for him to turn into Captain America, because he is Captain America in the comics as well. But in the comic books, Steve Rogers is still around, so both of them are Captain America. Actually, both of them are. So they did a special shield for Sam, but he is also Captain America as well. So both of the guys are Captain America. But in the case in the comic books, Sam earns it because, again, 60 years in the making. It's been 60 years in the making. 60 years of this guy running around sidekicking with Steve Rogers, and then you finally like, yeah, I mean, it's been 60 years. let's give him let's give him the spot. He's earned it. Whereas in the movie world, Sam Wilson, he's been around, but then you do it in in just a TV series, and the way he earned it was like, let me practice throwing the shield a couple of times, and then give me the uniform, and also because Steve Rogers gave him the shield. Like I understand the sentiment because Steve sees something in Sam that is good. I understand the sentiment, and giving it to Bucky would have been raising all kinds of red flags because, like,
Mm,
yeah, the murderer of Tony Stark's dad, we're
yeah.
gonna give it to him. Like, if that would be cause enough to turn him into Doctor Doom. Like Tony,
Oh wait.
oh no, you didn't.
Oh wait. But he is.
Well, he's the variant of Doctor Doom that's coming is gonna come up. And by the way, DC should sue Marvel for naming that Avengers movie Doomsday. 'Cause they got copyright on that character name. Doomsday, the monster that killed Superman.
Yeah, but maybe they bought the right.
Nah, Disney owns the name. DC owns the name Doomsday. But those two companies are too big enough that they can coexist. They basically own the market. Both of them do. So it's like everybody else is just eating crumbs compared to them. Whereas whatever they, oh, cool story. Whatever product I put out, it's $1 billion property. Because DC fanboys are going to see a DC movie regardless of the quality. And unfortunately,
Yeah.
Marvel has gone down to that level now too, as well, with the exception of Deadpool and Wolverine last year. But
What a movie.
it's been a rough couple of years for Marvel with TV shows and these. Although
Well, let's see what happens with Daredevil.
there we go. I was gonna say that. When I saw that Daredevil trailer, I was foaming in the mouth like Homer Simpson. That Homer Simpson meme. He's like drooling off him.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. Like just the same feeling I felt with the Netflix series back in the day. It's weird. It's almost been 10 years since the Netflix.
Yeah.
It's almost been 10 years.
And they made what?
They made.
Two? Two, 3 seasons?
I think they made.
Or was it more?
I think they did 3 seasons. I think they did.
Because Elektra was one of them, right?
Yeah, but she got.
Yeah, well, of course.
Spoilers. Then
I
again,
can't believe you just did that.
in what reality doesn't she get got?
Poor girl.
It's like she got a bullseye bun, no pun intended, on her. You'll get those puns later, kids, if you haven't. But yeah, I mean, also, I heard good news that Frank Castle's going to get his own Disney series
Yeah.
as well. And also, Disney announced recently that they are stepping away from politics in terms of not trying to push any further agenda whatsoever. They're just going to tell stories. And all I can say is amen to that because you don't go to the movies or watch a TV series to see how politically correct one thing can be or the other. You just want to be entertained. Like,
Yeah.
let people be whatever they want to be in their spare time. Just entertain us. Just entertain us. Just entertain us. That's all I ask.
And it would be also be nice if they take some of those other shows from Netflix and reboot them, like um, Luke Cage. I loved his series.
I like Blue Cage too.
Um,
Sweet Christmas.
Even what was, oh my god, I can't believe I forgot her name.
Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones. Yeah, I would
Yeah,
love to see that too because that was a good series.
Iron.
Iron Fist was nah.
Nah,
You can
nah.
keep that. You
That
can
was
keep that.
trash. I'm sorry. That was trash.
It was. I didn't really enjoy it. Even like that last season was tough to see. I just watched it because I watched the first season, so why not finish it?
Nah.
Um,
Jessica Jones
Luke
and Luke
Cage, the
Cage. The
Punisher, who like you
Punisher.
said, that's
Oh,
gonna
Punisher.
get yeah.
Oh my
And
God.
yeah, if they reboot those other 3 series,
Punisher was brutal, dude.
but it was
Punisher.
good.
That was brutal. Like that was like like, and the good thing is that they gave you in series format because that gave you time to digest the whole thing. It gave you
Hmm.
time because you didn't want this character to be brought in into a little rush and just do like start splattering people just for splattering sake. No, no, no. It gave you his sweet time with Frank. And Frank Castle is not a character that you just do lightly. You gotta go full ham. You gotta go full tilt with this dude because he's, well, his name says it, the Punisher.
Yeah,
he's he,
but
he don't
and
play.
and and that guy, that actor, is
John
perfect
Bernthal.
for him. Yeah,
John
perfect.
Bernthal. That has been like the perfect embodiment. Like those Netflix series, with the exception of Iron Fist, the
Well,
casting was
it's sad to
spot.
say, but
Yeah,
it wasn't great.
yeah, but the casting after Iron Fist was notwithstanding, the casting of those guys of those actors was chef's kiss.
Yeah,
Everybody hit it right in the head. Everybody played their part for perfection. Everybody. Kristen Ritter was the one that played
yeah.
Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones.
I forgot the guy that played Luke Cage. I forgot his name.
He also did Evil too.
Mm. But he nailed the Luke Cage. Of course, Charlie Cox as Matt
Mike
Murdock.
Coulter.
Oh, Mike Holt. Yes, Mike Holt. He nailed it. Charlie Cox playing Daredevil, Matt Murdock.
Yeah.
That's the perfect. And just thinking about that, he's gonna be in the Doomsday movie with Peter, and both of them are gonna be in uniform. It's gonna be nerdgasm, nerdgasm. Like because we already got them together and No Way Home. They were already there, but that's not the same. You want to see them in tights. You want to see.
Whoa.
Well, you know what I mean. No Diddy,
No, did he?
no Diddy. Oh, that one got scotch free.
Oh.
Oh God, like you want to talk about act of God? The whole thing was burned down. I mean, he wasn't the only casualty of the Palisades fires in L.A.
Home.
He was. No, there was a lot of people lost their houses.
Oh yeah.
That's on a serious note. I'm not joking about that. A lot of people lost their houses, but that must be the only dude in the entire thing. Him and Mel Gibson, because Mel Gibson was actually, Mel Gibson was actually more spiritual about it. It was like, you come with nothing, you go back with nothing. So he was like, God gives, God's take away, may God be glorified. So he was like very more spiritual about it. Whereas this dude must be like, thank you, Jesus. Then he must be like, oh, that baby, oh, them
Man, they.
videos.
Man, but you don't think they got all that stuff backed up or anywhere?
I don't know, dude, but like at least where the criminal evidence of where the actual locations, like any if he allegedly had any dungeon rooms where he perpetrated those nefarious deeds, with certain people that we've heard in the news that were recipients or the catchers of certain deeds that we will not repeat because we're good Christian boys, and also we're not that type of podcast. Everybody already knows.
Think R. Kelly's like, damn.
R. Kelly like taking notes, like writing this down.
Oh man.
So Diddy must be like, he must be happy. He must be a happy man.
There's no way those people didn't go in there. They raided his house and not take pictures of everything that was going on in there.
Look, dude, I don't know what's gonna happen. I just know that a lot of the evidence now is gone. A lot of that because the house is not there anymore. It's gone. Houses just went up in smoke. And I just hope that justice, if he indeed was what he is being accused of, eventually justice does get done for the people that suffered under him. indeed that did happen, because again, this is all hearsay. Although if you ask Cat Williams, he's like, "Nah, dude, this happened.
No, it happened.
This happened." Like nobody kisses thousands of bottles of baby oil just just because they like to wipe little babies' behinds.
Hmm.
I'm trying to keep it PG here. Lord, help me, Lord, help me, Jesus, help me, Lord. Oh my God.
Hmm.
So yeah, anything else under the sports department? Didn't the Yankees sign somebody?
It was no big deal. No shocker that high potential Japanese pitcher that was coming out that everyone was trying to, because he was coming out so early. Um, it was gonna be like on a cheap discount
Uh
because if
huh.
he waited like a little longer, then he would have made more money. But I guess he wanted to come out now, and Japan gave him the right to leave his contract and go go fetch a team, and of course he signed with the Dodgers. So
Hey, Otani's giving like what, 500 million or 50 million?
500,000.
500,000. Oh, I thought it was 500 million. I was like, oh, the Lord done touched him.
Yeah, no, he's giving 500,000.
Well, something. It's not a chump change. I mean, for him, maybe, but
Heard Bruce Willis was shaking hands with
yeah,
the first responders, which is like his first
the public appearance.
appearance,
Yeah,
public appearance in a
sounds
very
sweet.
long time.
No, because he's battling dementia,
Yeah.
so it's sad that one of your childhood heroes is going down that way. But it's genetics. I mean, when some just get the the bad cards
Yep.
in the poker game of life. You just gotta deal with the cards you're dealt with. And
Um, yes, I mean,
Steve Gutenberg was helping out in the fires. Him from Police Academy fame. You might not
I
know that
have
because that
probably
was
know his
way before
face.
your time. That was way
I know
before your.
Police Academy, but I need to see his face. I'm bad with names. I'm very
You
remember
remember Three
faces.
Men and a Little Baby? Three Men and a Baby. That movie. Yeah, Ted Danson, Tom Selleck.
And I know of the movie, but I know Tom Selleck was in it. What was his name again?
Steve Gutenberg. That's something that only us old people would remember. And I can say old because everybody can look at my face and see that this weird beard is quite white now. Very much white. It's like there's
Uh,
barely any dark hairs left in my beard anymore. Like very
oh yeah,
scar.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I remember him.
Yeah. So he's been helping out with the fires as well. He's been out there in the streets, people seeing him helping out. I mean, my heart goes out to everybody in LA. I mean, it's been a rough. It hasn't been a month yet.
No,
this this is only a month,
it's
and 2025 started like, hold my keg. It's not even hold my beer. Like hold my
yeah. Oh my
keg.
god, it was crazy.
It's like it is mad. It's like wow. Like you thought like all these past years were like it couldn't get any worse, and 2025 come like started time to flex.
It was like, oh, COVID. You think you got something on me?
It's
It
like
was
the
just,
2020s has been like mad. It's like all
yeah.
the like burn all your bingo cards. Whatever you want to do in your prediction table, just throw it away because it's not gonna be.
It's
It's
crazy, man.
it's crazy. It's like this is not gonna end how you think. This is not gonna end how you think. I
Well,
mean,
you
at
also
this.
had a lot of those Canadian fires too,
Oh
which
yeah,
was at what
what?
last year.
I think that was 2023 or 24. I mean,
So you,
we're
you,
getting
you
confused with the
started
years
you
now.
started you started 2020 with COVID. 2021 you still had it COVID. So things started dying down with COVID, and then you
Uh,
ended up with these hurricanes ripping through states and countries. You got these fires that started in Canada. They used that it turned the freaking the the sky orange. Remember those days, right?
Yeah, I
And
remember.
then you got 2025 starting off with this. So it's you're right. The
Yeah,
2020s
I
is
mean, I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the decade you see Jesus coming back in the wars. It's
why
like
not?
you're like, I mean, you'd be like,
It's not shocking.
this is not out of the possibilities. This is not out of the realm of possibilities now. Like we welcome it. Like yes, come Lord Jesus, come,
Yeah,
come Lord Jesus, take us away.
maybe the dinosaurs might come back. I mean, who
I mean,
knows?
Jesus riding on that horse, like yeah, you all always say, "Let me take the wheel." Coming, I'm calling for that wheel now. I'm calling for that wheel. Oh
It's
God,
crazy.
it's been mad. It's been mad. But hey, we're still alive. That's the good thing. Like, have you seen that Monty Python movie, The Life of Brian?
No.
Okay, that's yeah, I wouldn't imagine you would because it's a little niche movie for weirdos like me. So basically,
Yeah.
the Life of Brian is like a guy that's being confused for being Jesus
Okay.
in biblical ages, but he's not. So he's actually gets crucified in the end, but he's being crucified with a mass crucifixion with a bunch of people. And there's one of the guys that's crucified. He's like being all chalant and happy about it. It's like he's like, "Why are you happy?" It's like, "Well, because things always could be worse." And
What?
he starts singing, "Always look at the bright side of life."
Oh my god.
So every time I feel like I'm in the dumps, I always start singing that. Always look at the bright side
Yeah, I
of
guess.
life. I mean, you're like, if this dude was whistling and singing while being crucified, like my life ain't that bad.
It's
It
not.
ain't that bad. It ain't that bad. I mean, I'm not hanging from a cross and gonna die from suffocation. I'm not gonna be the one that's gonna be crow food.
That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. And on that note,
Well, we still gotta mention Joey Diaz. We still gotta mention
he's fine.
Bernie Mac.
Bernie Mac is with Jesus.
And yeah, and then you still got Joe Rogan. We gotta get these clips up.
Oh, I did get to see that podcast I was waiting for, the Joe Rogan with the theologian. Got to
Okay, how
hear it.
was it?
It was cool, and Joe is finding his way to the Lord. Let's just say he's
Okay.
he's finding his way to the Lord because he spoke with a biblical expert, a guy who actually knows what he's talking about. He is a theologian and a guy that actually studies these books of the Bible. And this guy dropped these things, as a matter of fact, as like the origins of these books in the Bible, the languages, and he even gave him like a fraction of a papyrus of one of the oldest texts of the book of John, the Gospel of John, but it was a
Yeah.
reproduction. But Joe was like, "Wow!" he was like, he was very. And then you
Like
had a one. It was a 1-2 punch because he had that dude one day, and then the next day he had Mel Gibson, who was also talking about God, and because Mel Gibson is now going to do part 2 of Passion of the Christ, and he already
he didn't have great reviews doing the first one.
that's because let's not go there and the political stuff because of.
Yeah. So,
But did you see it though?
no.
It didn't have any anti that thing in the movie. I didn't see it. Like if it did, I didn't notice. If it did, I didn't see it because you got to remember how can it be anti that thing if Jesus himself was you know what?
Yeah.
So how can it be anti if Jesus is a you know? It can't be. So it wasn't. I didn't see all that negative too when it came out. So, but this is not going to concentrate on that. This is going to be called. He called it is going to be called the resurrection of the Christ. So and the way he said it is going to be what happened during those 3 days when Jesus was in the grave. What happens in the spiritual realm when Jesus was in. So it won't deal with the whole. It's not going to rehash the whole crucifixion. It's not going to deal with what was happening in those days. It's just going to be more like a spiritual realm. And he says that he already finished the script, so he's going to start filming next year. And Joe asked him, "So who's going to be Jesus now?" He said, "Got to hire the same guy. It's going to be Jim Caviezel." He's like, "But isn't he older now? He's like in his 50s." Like, yeah, but he said technology has gone to a point that you can, you know, deep fake his face and make him look younger again. So he's like, "No, cast the same dude and just make him look younger. CG his face and make him look younger."
Okay.
So, uh, with that, I was saying like, this is weird that we're talking about another podcast. But
It's all right.
I mean, you mentioned it, and that just popped my head, and I just like the fact that Joe is from a
I
guy who
mean,
was a staunch atheist back in the
true.
day. He was a staunch atheist. He made fun of Christianity like crazy, but now he's more open minded about it. He's very very much so open minded about it, and now he makes fun of atheism because now he acknowledges that there is something.
He's not young anymore.
Well, no, I mean you. I can speak from personal experience that, in my personal view, there is a God. In my personal view, and my personal experience is that he's pretty much a personal God, a relationship God. But that's my personal view. That's my life experience, and I can extrapolate 30+ years of experiences of what I consider supernatural stuff and try to impose it on people and force it in with a two
No,
two or three
we're not.
second.
We're not here to do that anyway.
No,
We're
and
here.
I'm not in that for that either. I mean, we're just talking about it because it's the
Yeah,
subject right now. But I'm just saying, like everybody, different strokes for different folks. So
exactly.
you rock your boat, and I rock mine. I'm not here to proselytize and make you see my way. If you don't, if you believe I'm full of it, then you are more than welcome to believe whatever you want. All I can say is I know what I lived through, and on my end, that's what I believe. That's it. We'll leave it at that. So,
And on that note,
on that note, see, we
on
ended
that
more
note,
positive. This is more
see,
positive than the previous ending that we thought about because that one was shady. Anyway, no Eminem reference. No pun to Eminem.
I'm some shit.
Uh, no pun for Eminem. Anyway, so remember Husky Babu store at TeePublic? It's always some sort of discount.
Between
Uh,
20 to 35%
yeah,
off
yeah, yeah.
sometime.
I
No,
haven't done a new design in ages, but it's because you guys are not buying them. Like you buy them, I make more. So buy them, and I'll make more.
I was actually thinking about buying the hoodie with our new logo.
I mean, I'm wearing my T-shirt right now underneath, but I'm not gonna do a
Yeah,
strip tease.
no, your wife might get mad at us.
Yeah, no. Plus, nobody wants to see that. I don't want to see that. I live in this body, and I don't want to see that. I'm like,
Oh,
like
starting to
no.
flake here.
I'm like, no, no, no. Anyway,
Snow's starting to flake here, so
the
it's
power
coming.
of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you. Anyway, uh, HuskyRivalPod.com. That's where you can find all the other previous podcasts. Our social media, Husky Bible Pod or Husky Bible Media. I think it is. Yeah. So yeah,
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 that's Bible Media.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Then our personal social medias that area they're in.
Johnny Bo 426.
There you go. So thank you for watching and listening. Hope that you enjoyed and catch hopefully next week.
All right, have a good week, everyone. Peace out.
Bye.